Hi everybody, it's me, Jose Segura, your SMEA president. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. Thanks for coming out. Happy October 1st, everybody. I know it's already October. Crazy, right? But I got a lot on my agenda today, my October 1st agenda, so let's get started. First things first, an equity team event. So next Tuesday, October 5th is going to be an equity team event. It's going to be Indigenous Voices in the Classroom with a guest speaker. And it's really going to be an amazing presentation. It starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on October 5th. If you go back to the email that this video was attached to, you'll see a link on how you can register for that event. Now, that's brought to you by the Channel Island Service Center Equity Team. That equity team is headed up by none other than our very own Brian Gong. He's one of our teachers. He's also a CTA State Council member at large, a minority at large, and he runs the equity team. So if you have an interest in Indigenous voices in the classroom, if that's of interest to you, it's going to be a great presenter. It's going to be Tuesday, October 5th at 4 p.m. Go back to the email this video was attached to for a link for you to register. All right. Our second thing, CTA conferences. So CTA is back to scheduling conferences. Last year, everything was virtual that they put out. And CTA does some really great conferences, not just governance conferences and that kind of stuff like issues, but also really great teacher conferences. The New Educator Weekend, Good Teaching Conference, things that are really focused on the work that you all do. And so what I've done is, back at the email this video was attached to, you'll see a whole section on there about the CTA conferences. And there's different images for the 5 different conferences between now and early spring. Click on any of those. It'll take you to the sign up form, which has all the information about the conference, the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Really what I want to share with you all is that some of these conferences are going to be virtual. They're going to be what they consider to be at-home versions, and so those are free to anybody who wants to register. Simply click on the link that you're going to find in the email this video was attached to, and go ahead and get yourself registered for those. A few of the conferences, for example, the LGBTQ+ conference coming up in October is going to be an actual in-person conference, and so SMEA has budgeted funds in order to assist our folks in attending these events. So if you're interested in any of the in-person conferences, what I want you to do is go back to the email this video was attached to. You'll see a link. That link will take you to a Google form. It's a really simple form to fill out. Fill that out, and then we'll get back to you and we'll have a conversation about what kind of assistance we can we provide to you, so in order for you to attend. Lodging, registration, meals, transportation, mileage, things like that. And so, as I said, we do have a budgetary amount set aside to send our folks to conferences, and so I want to give you all an opportunity to attend if you would like to. So again, go back to the email this video was attached to. You'll see a section on CTA conferences. Check out what's available. There's dates, there's times, there's locations. It's all in there. Click on the link for the ones that you have an interest in. And if it's something that's going to be in person, go back and click on the Google form that's part of that same section of the email this video was attached to, and you can get yourself signed up, and we will then contact you to get more information about how we can make sure you get to a conference that you have an interest in attending. All right? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I do want to plug for November the Special Education Conference. This is the second Special Education Conference. The first one was last year during the COVID, right? But it was phenomenally well received and well attended. And so CTA is actually going to split it up into a fall and a spring conferences for special education, because it's such a topic in high demand. This conference is both for special ed folks and gen ed folks. It's for everyone. So if you have an interest in learning more about special education, the new laws, the rules, the impacts of your classroom, students' rights, teachers' rights, all that good stuff, sign up for the Special Education Conference. That one is free and will be a virtual event. All right? Awesome. Let's go now to our third thing for the day, and that is PD4ME, so personal development for our members. The PD4ME is something we've been doing now for a few years. We've been trying to get it back up and running for this year, and I'm happy to announce that we've actually have 3 things on the books right now, 3 events on the books right now. So again, if you go back to the email that this video was attached to, you'll see all the information. The 3 things are going to be ukulele classes, in-person ukulele classes. The second one is going to be the PD4ME Movie Club, right, in-person movies, and then the PD4ME Beer Club. And so as long as public health allows these types of events to occur, going to movies, going into pubs, things like that, classes with small numbers, then we're going to try and offer as many PD4MEs as we can. So if you have an interest in any of the first three, please sign up for those. We want you to sign up because that way we know who's coming. We know, make sure that we have it within our budget, and we want to make sure that that the facilitator knows who's all coming, so we don't miss anyone. All right. So if you have an interest in either the movie club, first movie club event is going to be next Tuesday, and it's going to be at the Santa Maria Theater here, the one at the mall, the Stadium 14. That's where the movie club always meets, and that is actually going to start next week on Tuesday, October the 5th. And so go back to the email this video is attached to for all the information, all the links to get you signed up for the first round of PD4ME offerings. And also, just so we know, all PD offerings are free to all of our members. If you go to the movie club, we buy the tickets. If you want to join the ukulele classes, we provide the ukuleles and the instructor. If you want to join us for the beer club, we cover the first flight or the first pint as beer club members. And so all PD4MEs moving forward are going to be free to all of our members. Right. Fourth thing, this is a real quick but important, the California COVID supplementary paid sick leave. That's the thing that if you had to be out for any COVID related reasons, any of the time between January of this year and now, that time was supplemented by a state fund so that you didn't have to burn up or use your own sick days. So if you had to be out because you were tested positive or you were a close contact and had to quarantine, if anybody in your family, you had to care for them because they either tested positive or were being quarantined. If your child's daycare provider was shut down because of a positive test and they're unable to function, a lot of these things we were being sent home for, and we were able to use the supplemental paid sick leave by the state instead of our own time, and that way we didn't draw from our personal sick leave. Well, that law expired today. Actually, yesterday was the last day of it. So from today moving forward, if you need to be out for any of those COVID-related reasons I just listed, that time's going to come from your personal sick time. And I know that's just kind of lame and it sucks, but that's where we are right now. The legislators, the governor, no one put forth legislation to extend that language, and there was no attempts to rewrite it, to modify it, or anything like that. So, we know that our legislators are out at recess right now, and so there's nobody in Sacramento writing legislation, and so as of right now, there is no supplemental paid sick leave for COVID-related absences. So just want you to know that. Next one is, okay, so number 5. Now this one is a little more lengthy. Really what I'd like you to do is go back to the email that this video was attached to and really read the text for this section about relationship building. In a nutshell, when your executive board and your bargaining team had a retreat in early August, one of the things that came out of that 2.5-day retreat was a commitment to building back a relationship with our district. Something that we feel has really gone by the wayside over this last several years. And part of that process is both parties owning up to their contribution to the deterioration of the relationship, but also, committing to building it up and moving forward. And so we left that retreat with that in mind. Well, it turned out the very next day we met with the district for a PERB settlement hearing, and that was actually part of the conversation. So they had been talking about that separately from the association, so there was a little bit of synchronicity there. Mr. Ontiveros and I have met several times on this topic, and we've agreed to commit our negotiating team and our executive board and the district side, their negotiating team and the cabinet, as well as a couple of school board members, to begin this process of relationship building and getting to a place where we can have reasonable, recourse, have conversations, problem solve, and actually get to negotiations, somewhere down the road, the next time we're at the table, where we don't end up in impasse, that we can resolve our issues in a meaningful way. We have settled, we agreed to bring in a third-party facilitator, somebody who does this for a living, and we actually found a really great facilitator. The company is called Barber and Gonzalez Consulting Group. They were recommended both to the district from the district's sources, and then to us through CTA and our CTA sources. So this was a group that was highly recommended by both sides, and so we're really looking forward to seeing what they can build for us as far as a plan moving forward. And the district and the association are committing time, energy, and effort in order to work on this. So this is going to be a long-term project. This is not an overnight fix, but we are committed to the process. I'm super optimistic that we can work collaboratively with the district to build better a relationship that works both for the association and the district, that improves our working conditions, which we all know means improving learning conditions, and improves our relationship within the district and with the district itself. And so, again, there's more to it than that. If you want to go back to the email this video was attached to, please read through that text information. You will be getting regular updates from me as things happen. And so right now we're looking at setting some dates for those first trainings, and Mr. Barber, Steve Barber from Barber and Gonzalez, is putting together the plan that he thinks was going to be a good fit for us based on all the information that we've given him so far. And so, again, we will continue to update you all as we move through this process. And then last but not least, now I know this seems really weird because we just talked about relationships and building relationships, but the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was a grievance that we currently have. And I want to be very clear. We are fully committed to building a relationship with the district, to building back a relationship that is positive and that has some equity to it and some parity to it across both the association and the district. But that doesn't mean that the ship is not continuing to sail down the sea, right? So we do have a grievance that's been filed. The step two of the grievance process is a facilitated meeting where we try and use a facilitator to help us resolve the grievance. So we've already settled on a facilitator. That meeting is scheduled for October 26th. Now, the grievance itself is based on 2 school sites, a junior high and an elementary, whose administration has scheduled and implemented a multi-staff meeting schedule per week. So more than 1 staff meeting a week. In this case, it's 2 at both sites. And so we have a long-standing, mutually agreed to, district-wide past practice of a single staff meeting in a week. It's been that way for as long as literally anyone can remember. There is no evidence that 2 meetings a week was ever an option anywhere within our district. So when we talk about long-standing, mutually agreed to, district-wide past practice, that's really what we're talking about. And for those who don't know, well-qualified past practice, it can be looked at as solid and as grievable as contract language. And so when both parties, not only do they not debate whether or not something is appropriate, but they actually and actively engage in supporting and promoting it, in this case it's the single staff meeting a week, then that really becomes a past practice that's just as strong as contract language. And so we are hoping to resolve this. The district does not agree with us about the past practice, although we don't really know yet what their position on past practice is or even how they define it. But we do know how it's defined legally, and we do know how it's been defined in other court cases. And so we're bringing that to the table when we meet on October 26th. Now, Chris Felix, he is our grievance chair. He's been doing a bang-up job. He's new to the job this year, but he's been doing great. If you have anything that you think is a potential grievance, start with your site reps, and then if you go from your site reps to Chris. Now, given that, if at your site, your staff administrator schedules and actually implements more than 1 staff meeting in a week, or puts it onto you all to determine when you're going to schedule a second staff meeting, whether it's department or it's grade level or whatever it happens to be, please contact Chris and let him know that that's happening at your site. Now, we don't want anybody to be insubordinate. We don't want anybody to get themselves into trouble. So if you are directed to attend a second staff meeting in a week, make sure your administrator knows that it's something that will be grieved by the association, but please attend. Do not outright refuse to participate, because we don't want anyone to be considered insubordinate and then pile on a problem on top of what's already a problem. So as we move through this grievance, we will update you all. Like I said, the 26th is when we're going to meet with the district, with our facilitator, to see if we cannot resolve this at the step 2 level. All right. Hey, that's all I got for you. That was it for today. Thank you so much. I know this one was kind of long, so I'm going to cut it short. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Be good, be kind, do something that brings you joy, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.